Right now, start clapping up right now for the one who took my seat with his beach shorts. Give it up for Ewan!
Guys, yeah, I don't know if you know how to use chopsticks or not, but you should probably learn, you know? Because like when Asian people see people like fumbling with their chopsticks and stuff, like we lose all respect for you, you know? Yeah, totally. We're like, so you don't know how to eat? Well, let's just be friends. Yeah, people say Asians are good at math, but I think Asian people are just good at taking instructions, you know? Hey, you know, you give a little Asian kid a Lego set, he'll make a fucking pirate ship, fucking Millennium Falcon, you know what I mean? You give us little white kids some Legos, they start making dick shapes. You don't see too many Asian people getting shot by cops, right? You know? They'll be like, freeze! And you're like, yeah, my older brother, he's married to an Asian lady, like 12 years younger than him. Yeah, that sounds good, right? But my older brother, man, he's fucking whipped like a motherfucking bucket of cream and shit. That guy, you know, I bet if you went whoosh, he'd be like, hey, you know, he can't watch football. You know, he used to love watching football. We used to watch football every fucking Sunday, but he can't watch. She don't let him watch football. You know, he has to wait for her to go to sleep for him to get a drink and shit. What? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, damn, man. You know, does she let you pee sitting down? You know, standing up and shit? Like, what the fuck? Hey, he's so whipped, man. He makes Will Smith look like P. Diddy. Yeah, you know, there's this weird phenomenon that goes around in the Grand Canyon, where like these guys will report, like they'll be sitting there with their girlfriends on the rim, and then they'll go to get up, and then the girls get like all disoriented and they'll like fall in and shit, you know? Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's kind of sus, you know? But I know it's true because all three of my ex-wives died like that. And what the fuck is black licorice, you know? Like why is it a thing, you know what I mean? Like why do I even know what it tastes like and shit? Like who the fuck is making this stuff? Like the devil, you know what I mean? Like, and there must be somebody buying it, you know? And they're all like secretive about this shit. It's probably one of you guys and shit. But I like black licorice, you know? I have some right here next to my roofies. Yeah, we're now living in a new era of modern breakdancing. Ray Gun, right? Yeah, Rachel Gunn, Australian B-girl, you know, also known as Ray Gun, which is a really good stage name for her, you know, because when she's dancing, she looks like she's being shot at with an invisible space laser and shit. You see her thing? She's like, you missed me, you missed me. Oh, I bet.
Haters.
This is an announcement to all the white women of America, right? Look, there is a line, right? And you are second to the end of that line, you know what I mean? You know, like if you're gay, then you're third to the end, okay? Okay, like black Americans, Asians, Native Americans, and Middle East Americans, we're in the front, you know what I mean? And I know white women want to like lead the charge of the oppressed and shit, but it's like, look, we got this, okay? You know, step back, Hillary. We got Kamala. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I love watching women's gymnastics. You know, the Olympics.
Hey.
Yeah, it's awesome. Right? It's best, in my opinion, it's the best sport.
Yep.
But have you ever seen rhythmic gymnastics? That's weird, right? It's like that one thing where they dance around with that ribbon thing, you know? And that's kind of cool, but then they have other things too. They have like a hoop and a ball and like these clubs and stuff and like a rope. I'm like, what the hell? It's just like some random yard objects and shit. Yeah, if you saw someone practicing rhythmic gymnastics, you know, you'd think they lost their mind and shit. They're like, hey, what's wrong with your sister? Is she drunk or something? No, she's just training for the Olympics. Yeah, I used to go fishing all the time, you know. I used to love going fishing, but that's because I used to catch fucking fish, right? I've been going fishing for the past 20 years. I haven't caught fucking shit. And nowadays I just stand around getting skin cancer and shit. Oh, you catch anything? Yeah, melanoma.
No.
Yeah, when I was in the army, the first time I saw New York City, right? I went to New York City. It was when I was in the army. I was stationed in Maryland. And then it was like a 4-day weekend, right? So I told a couple of my buddies, hey, let's go to New York, right? So we went. It was me and these two dudes. One of them was from like Michigan, and the other from like Ohio, right?
I think he has a cherry in his mouth, sorry.
Oh, okay, it's fine. Anyway, we're walking around New York City. It's at nighttime, and we go past the street. Yeah, it's fine.
Does it have a pit in it?
Yeah, but she'll just chew on it for a little.
Jesus. The pit could kill it.
Anyway, we're in New York City, right? And then I look down the street and it's all these Korean signs, you know? And so I'm like, hey dude, let's go down here, right? It's all these fucking Korean signs and shit. And I look back and then they're all like, way the fuck back there and shit, you know? I'm like, hey, come on, dude, you know? And then the look on their faces, you know, they were scared to death, dude. They're like, no man, no way, I'm not going there. I'm like, what? It's Korean, you know? I'm like, I can read the sign, you know, that's like a liquor store, that's a restaurant, you know? And they're like, no man, no. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I guess, you know? So I'm like, man, you know, people from the Midwest must really be scared of Asians and shit. Like, no wonder why you guys aren't laughing at my jokes. Yeah, they say California's a golden state. You know, they don't tell you that it's fool's gold. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to, you know, because I was born and raised here, and so we used to go to LA all the Mexico all the time, you know. But maybe once every couple of years, my family would go to Mexico or whatever. Yeah, it was cool, you know, it'd take a couple hours and shit. And then you'd have to get like your license or your passport and shit, right? But nowadays, if you want to go visit Mexico, you just have to drive past Western. Yeah, okay, you know the Army has a lot of acronyms, right? One of them is rub both balls softly for better head. Right, that's basically when you come across an unresponsive soldier, like someone who's all knocked out, you know, right? Okay, rub is first is R, right? Responsiveness, right? You go, hey, you know, are you okay? And then B is like breathing, right? Check the breathing. And then B is rub both balls. Bleeding, right? Check the bleeding. And then S is shock, right? You check for shock. And then F is like fractured. You check for fractures and burns, right? So anyway, we're learning all this, right? One of my buddies, he had KP duty that day, you know? So he didn't know any of this. And so the next day, we're having class again, and Joe Sarge's like, so what do you do when you come across an unresponsive soldier? And I was like, oh, I know. You rub both balls softly for better head. And he's like, that's correct, soldier. And my buddy was like, what the fuck? All right, yeah, you know Korean, right? You know, Korean food sucks, right? Yeah, it really does. And the reason why is because we were colonized by the Japanese for like 35 years. And then during that time, they took all the best food, right? They brought it back to Japan, leaving us with just leftovers, you know? And with those leftovers, we made Korean food, right? So it's not that good, you know? It's not worth the price that you know, you're gonna pay for at a restaurant, right? Don't ever let somebody gaslight you into believing that shit. Those same people that tell you that Korean food is like some great, you know, things, they're the same people that'll try to tell you that Dane Cook is a funny comedian.
You are hilarious with Dane Cook.
I don't like Dane Cook. His jokes are not funny, and he's the one that made us do all this, you know, because of him now we all have to, you know.
Make us
The social media. Because of him now we have to do all this social media.
okay.
Yeah, you know, I was born in LA, but I grew up in Temple City, which is near Pasadena, and so, you know, most of my classmates were white, you know. And so all the girls, like, none of them never said that I was like good looking, you know, because I'm Asian, right? I look weird, right? So that's how I always thought about myself until I was like 15, and then I visited South Korea for the first time. Oh, that's crazy, you know. Not only was my mind blown, but so was my dick. Yeah, you know, white women around here, like, I don't know what they were rating as, like a 4 or a 5. But South Korea, I was like a 9.9 and shit. And I was like the tallest dude in the whole country and shit. And I have an American accent, you know? Yeah, like for a Korean girl, you know, for some Korean girl born and raised in Korea, all of a sudden see some tall Korean dude walking around with an American accent. I was like, fire crotch, you know? And I was just 15. Grown women were just like throwing their pussies at me and shit. I'm like, oh, excuse me, you drop this. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back, man. My plan is to be a famous comedian, go back to Korea and spend the rest of my days knee deep in the rice paddy full of pussy.
Rice paddy full of pussy. That's funny.
Yeah, you know what they call an Asian person that's mixed with a black person? They call it Blasians, right?
Yeah.
And when like an Asian person mixed with a Mexican person, we call them either Mexicans or Masians. And you know what we call it when an Asian person mixed with a white person? Assholes. Yeah, my brother, you know, like I said, he's married to a lady.
Bless you.
My brother's wife, she calls him oppa, which in Korean means big brother. It's gross, right? I'm like, what the fuck's that all about? Yeah, my ex-wife, she always just called me stepdad. Yeah, the very first thing I learned when I was signing for the Army was the military alphabet, basically. You know, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and the reason why we do it, you know. And the reason is because when you're on the radio, you know, certain letters sound the same, right? Like B, D, T, Z, right? And when you're in battle, you don't have time to be like, hey, was that a B or a D, you know? So it's just like Bravo, Delta, Tango, Zeta, right? So like even the word comedian, right? If you're gonna spell that in the military language, it would be Lima, Oscar, Sierra, Echo, Romeo.
Wait.
Yeah, I was watching the Olympics and I was watching men's diving. And the men's diving competition, man, these guys are like almost naked, you know? They're like wearing just the smallest little G-string thing, right? And they're all like ripped and muscled, you know? I was like, damn, this is like, men's diving is like the gayest sport of all the Olympics, you know, hands down. Actually more like hands up, moving a back and forth motion. Yeah, if you go to a Korean person's house, you know, you have to take your shoes off, you know, that's just non-negotiable. It's not a tradition or nothing. We just want to make sure you're not stealing our chopsticks. Yeah, you know, the national dog of Korea is called a chindoke. It looks kind of like a husky, except it's blonde and has a curly tail. And it tastes like ham. Yeah, they say elephant never forgets. Yeah, that is until it's their turn to take out the trash. Yeah, the slogan for Nike is just do it, you know. You know it wasn't someone's mom who thought of that slogan. Yeah, if it was my mom, the slogan would be, stop doing comedy and get a real job. Yeah, I had a real bad hangover this past weekend. That was horrible, you know. It's like the worst part of drinking is a hangover. Yeah, you know, you spend a couple hours just fucking in and shit. And the only thing worse than having a real bad hangover is listening to Dane Cook's special. You know, they say Disneyland's like the happiest place on earth, right? That's just if you're a little kid, you know? Yeah, if you're a grown man, I'd say the happiest place on earth is South Figueroa Street. Yeah, you know, they say California is now #1 in road rage in the entire nation. That's crazy, right? Finally, all my hard work is paying off. Yeah, you ever play doctor when you were a little kid? Yeah, when I was in kindergarten, I was playing doctor with one of my classmates. It was all fun until she started playing proctologist. Yeah, you ever see these billboards or whatever around Hollywood about this blind mountain climber that climbed Mount Everest? Pretty inspiring, you know? But I was thinking, well, how did he know he was on top of Mount Everest? You know, for all he knows, he could have been on top of Mount Whitney, just like right over there. But then I was thinking, that's actually a pretty good business idea. Getting paid to take blind mountain climbers up to the top of Mount Everest. Yeah, I was doing comedy a couple weeks back, and there was a dude sitting right there giving me the Jada Pinkett face. You ever seen the Jada Pinkett face? It's when they're like, eh. I was like, what the hell, dude? Don't be sitting there giving me no Jada Pinkett face. You better knock that shit off before I give you the Will Smith hand. Okay. Yeah, you know, the metric system never took off in America, right? I think I know why. Because Americans like things to be all short and sweet, you know what I mean? Like inch, foot, yard, not millimeter, centimeter, kilometer. It's like, shut up, you damn nerd. And you know it's really hard taking a piss when you have a hard on, right? Like if you're outside, it doesn't really matter, you know? But when you're inside your bathroom and you're aiming at a target as small as a toilet, I'm telling you, it's like playing skee-ball with your dick. Yeah, I did have sex with a black woman a couple weeks back. Or a couple months back. I don't know. It was cool, you know, it was for the first time, you know. And, you know, aside from her skin color, she wasn't any different than any other woman I'd ever had sex with. The only real difference I could say is that the whole time I was fucking her, I was like, don't touch her hair, don't touch her hair. Yeah, you know, a lot of important inventions were invented in China, right? Like paper, the compass, gunpowder. One important invention, definitely not invented in China though, driving. Oh shit, I should do this. All right, you know, we do have Thanksgiving in Korea, right? Or we celebrate Thanksgiving. but it's kind of different, right? In that, like we have a big meal, you know, but we celebrate it with our dead relatives, right? Like what we'll do is we'll set places for our dead relatives, you know, and we'll have their pictures and shit. Like for us, it's my two grandparents and my aunt, right, that passed away, and we'll like put the food there and stuff. And throughout the meal, we'll like take bites of food, you know, and we'll like put it in this bowl. And alcohol too, right? We'll like get this shot of soju and like swish it around this incense, right? Which incense burning. And we'll put it in this bowl, right? Like if they're with us drinking and eating, right? And then it's kind of like that whole thing where you pour beer on the sidewalk, you know? But we do with food. And also we use their favorite food, right? Like my grandfather, his favorite food, my grandmother, her favorite food was this type of fish. So we always have that type of fish in front of her picture. And then my aunt, her favorite food was like this pork belly. So it's like these thick slabs of bacon, right? And then we put it in front of her picture. Now my grandfather, for him, we put like my grandmother's picture like under his like this. Because for my grandfather, his favorite food or thing to eat was my grandmother's pussy. I'm gonna do one of them.
Keep it going, you want crazy self. The hell? Damn. I miss old Iwan.